Okay, it says, while they was gathered together, Jesus asked them the question, what do you think about the Christ? And a lot of times, he asking them, but he is the Christ, but he's trying to get some understanding of where they head at. Like, right. What all they know? What all knowledge do you know? Have you really been studying, or are you just wearing this position? So now I'm asking you questions so you can give me an answer, which I know you can't answer, but the question is, I'm going to ask you a spiritual question because I see that you're fleshly. You're not operating in the spirit. You're not moving in the spirit, because if you was, you would have knew who the Christ was. You would have knew that he was the Christ, and he says, whose son is he? So if you know who the Christ is, first, who is the Christ? Or what do you know about the Christ? So I'll let you tell me what you know about the Christ, and then I say, well, whose son is he? Then they said, the son of David. And I was talking to my cousin about this the other day. It's like people represent bloodlines. And they represented bloodlines back then. And guess what? Jesus ain't had no last name. The Christ ain't have a last name. No. So he represent the bloodline. So they said, whose son is he? So whose son is he? You know he coming from King David lineage. So they going to say King David. And anybody before that probably would have said Father Abraham. Or Isaac, Jacob, the God of Isaac and Jacob. And back after that, you're going to say King David. Because King David was the king of Israel that everybody loved, and that God said that I'm going to always keep it open. So I'm going to always keep one of your sons on the throne. I'm going to always keep the bloodline through you. Yeah. So that's why they said, oh, he King David's son. But that's fleshly. They thinking that bloodline. So he like, okay, he right. King David's son. So, but it says after that, what it says, he says, so how does David in the spirit call him Lord? So we talking about somebody that's spiritual. So Jesus the Christ is spiritual, and guess what? Jesus been around before the beginning of time. Because God always been omnipresent. So we'll talk about God. We said Jesus is the word of God in action. So he's God in the flesh. But David can call Jesus my Lord because he know that Jesus been around, because Jesus is God. Right. He have that spirit. David had the spirit of God with him. That's how come he said a man after my own heart, because a lot of times he operated in the spirit of God. Yeah, he made mistakes. Yeah, he done things that he shouldn't have done, but majority of the time he repented and he asked God. He consulted God before he did things. If you go back, it says that when David was anointed to be the next king, that the Spirit of God was on him from that day forward. So when we fast forward, King David got the Spirit of God. So that's why they trying to say, okay, he the son of David, but David gonna call Jesus Lord because David received that Spirit. And when you receive that Spirit, guess what? You know what's going on. It ain't a mystery to you. That's why you will say, my Lord. Even though Jesus wasn't even born yet. Because he wasn't born in the flesh. But that don't mean he wasn't born in the spirit. So I challenge you to be more spiritual. Because if you're more spiritual, you will catch these spiritual blessings and these spiritual lessons. But the Pharisees and Sadducees, they wasn't spiritual. So right now, you just talking to me. I don't know what you're talking about when you start saying what he doing in the spirit. We just know about the flesh right now. What you talking about? And he says that the Lord said to my Lord, sit in my right hand till I make your enemies my footstool. Meaning that just ride with me. Let me handle everything. I'm going to make all your enemies your footstool. Meaning that you don't got to go to war no more. You don't got to battle them no more. Because if we go back to King David, we think about him. He was a warrior at first. So he always was constantly at war, even though he was killing people. So now it's time to make all your enemies your footstool. Make everybody come eat from you, and make everybody come receive you, and make everybody stop going against you. Make them help you. The same person that's supposed to be your enemy is supposed to be doing you wrong. God have a way of making them come back around and help assist you do stuff. That's how you make your enemy your footstool. Meaning that your enemy will assist you. They might have ran around, thought they was spreading gossip. Guess what? They was making your name for the whole world to know who you were. So the word of God can go forward. That's making your enemies your footstool. But it's saying basically how Jesus is letting them know they're not spiritual because you don't even understand who is the Christ. You should have said God is his daddy. But you said King David because he in that lineage and in that bloodline. Sister Nikki, you'll read the last two for us?